Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hi everyone. With me Cikgu Abdul Mukmin bin Hashim from SMK Taman Tasik, Taiping, Perak. Today, within this session, we will learn Chapter 13, Learning Area 28, Genetic Technology. We will discuss on Content Standard 28.1, Genetic Engineering. Okay, student, end of this session, students are able to describe the terms genetic engineering and genetically modified organism, GMO. Next, students are able to explain the application of genetic engineering in the production of genetically modified organism, GMO, genetically modified food, GMF, and insulin production. Okay, first, let's take a look on video clip from the Amazing of Spider-Man movie.
What you see here is a computer model of a lizard. And many of these wonderful creatures have so brilliantly adapted that they can regenerate entire limbs at will. You can imagine my envy. We're trying to harness this capability and transfer it into our host subject, Freddy, the three-legged mouse.
Okay, student, what can you see from this video clip? Okay, actually, the video clip shows us about how the transfer of gene is carried out. The regeneration gene or DNA from the lizard is transferred into the chromosome of mouse. The three-legged mouse has genetic modified gene, so it can regenerate its amputated limb. So the application of genetic technology as shown from the movie is actually applicable today. So we will discuss about genetic engineering. First, what is meant by genetic engineering? Genetic engineering is a gene manipulation technique to modify an organism's genetic material to produce new combination of gene. So student, you guys need to understand or need able to explain the meaning of genetic engineering. The genetic engineering involves the transfer of DNA segment from one organism to other organism, such example previously from lizard into mouse. Quick info. A genome is the complete set of genetic information in an organism. The genome provides all of the information the organism requires to function. In living organisms, the genome is stored in long molecule of DNA called chromosome. Okay, next. What's meant by genetically modified organism? GMO. Okay, GMO is an organism such as animal, plant, and microorganism that is produced by recombinant DNA technology. Quick info. Recombinant DNA technology comprises altering genetic material outside an organism to obtain enhanced and desired characteristics in living organism or as their products. This technology involved the insertion of DNA fragments from a variety of sources, having a desirable gene sequence via appropriate vector. Okay, student. So we have discussed about two terms, genetic engineering and genetic modified organism. We discussed the next learning standard, application of genetic engineering. First, we discuss about genetically modified organisms, GMOs. GMOs are organisms that contain recombinant DNA. These organisms are also called transgenic organism. Example of transgenic organism, genetically modified cow and genetically modified goat. The picture of genetically modified cow. Okay, this genetically modified cow produces milk which does not contain beta-lactoglobulin. This type of milk will not cause allergy to children. Okay, next, genetically modified goat. Genetically modified goat produce milk which contain blood clotting factor that can be purified and used to treat hemophilic patients. The second application of genetic engineering is genetically modified food, GMF. GMF possesses DNA from other species of plant or animal. Many beneficial varieties of crops and livestock are produced. Characteristic of GMF. First, resistant to herbicide. Second, resistant to disease. Third, application in medicine. Fourth, tolerance to heavy metals. And fifth, resistant to pests. Okay, so student, you should able to list 5 characteristics of GMF. Okay, next, we discuss the example of GMF. First, super salmon. The fish is produced by inserting growth hormone gene from a Chinook salmon into the genome of an Atlantic salmon. Super salmon has fastest growth rate and can be produced throughout the year. Second example, genetically modified potato. A gene from Arabidopsis species plant is inserted into the potato genome. Arabidopsis species is a plant that can tolerate freezing conditions. Thus, created potato that can grow well in cold climates. Third example, BT corn. Corn genome modified with a bacteria insecticide, BT gene. So, the corn produces insect toxin within its cell, protecting it from pests. Corn that resistant to pests is produced. So guys, I hope you can explain the example of GMF. Super salmon, genetically modified potato, and BT corn. Okay, student. Next, we discuss about advantages and disadvantages of GMF. First, advantages of GMF. Several advantages of GMF are overcome a worldwide food shortage by producing high-quality transgenic crops and livestock. Second, reduce costs of food production. Third, increase nutritional value of crops. Fourth, reduce problems of crops related to pests. Fifth, reduce usage of pesticides. Last but not least, increase in production reduce price of food. Thus, increase food availability. Disadvantages of GMF. First, endangered natural species. The original species may face extinction when more GMO species are produced. More GMO, such as plants and animals that being produced, may cause the extinction of natural species. So, GMO will become endangered to the natural species. Second, there is a slight possibility that the foreign gene in GMF may be transferred to humans. For example, antibiotic-resistant gene. Okay, student, this may happen when we consume GMF. Okay, last one. Disadvantages of GMF may have adverse effects on human health and genetic material. Okay, we read about the effect of consuming GMF toward human from the internet. For example, the GMF effect can cause allergy reaction, but it is not medically approved yet. So, it's just only a myth. For me, actually, I prefer to eat non-GMF food not because it meats, such as can cause allergy reaction, but because we actually can easily get the organic or non-GMF food easily. So we are not depend on GMF in totally. So depend for you guys, either you want to consume or eat GMF or to eat non-GMF food, it depends on you totally. Not because when you read from the internet about the effect of GMF, but the effect of GMF such as allergy reaction is not medically approved. I repeat, not medically approved. It is only a myth. Okay, last application of genetic engineering. Insulin production. Previously, insulin was extracted from the pancreas of cattle or pig. Nowadays, insulin can be commercially produced by genetic engineering. We use bacteria E. coli to synthesize insulin. Human insulin gene is transferred to a bacterium by genetic engineering to produce insulin. Let's take a look about how insulin production by genetic engineering. Stage 1, we find desired gene in the DNA. In this case, we take a look for the gene that produces insulin. Stage 2, we cut out the gene using a special enzyme called restriction enzyme. We snip out the gene or DNA in a very particular place. Okay, stage 3. Take bacterial plasmid, which is a circular ring of DNA that we found in some bacteria, such as E. coli. Then we cut that plasmid with the same enzyme, restriction enzyme. We remove a very particular section of plasmid. Stage 4, we insert the desired gene, insulin produce gene, into the bacterial plasmid. We use DNA ligase enzyme to combine the human insulin gene with bacteria plasmid. Stage 5, we insert the modified plasmid into bacterium. Then the bacterium will divide and express gene insulin is produced. Okay, within this stage 6, the bacteria will start to produce insulin. More time it divides, more insulin is produced. It's a very effective way to produce large amount of insulin in a very short time. Okay, there's an example of insulin production by genetic engineering. Thank you. That's all for today. We meet again in another section. Bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.